So this might be shambles again, but I'm recording earlier. Or I'm recording the same time, but no one's asleep, so it's fine. Alright, so I've added borders everywhere, as you can see. And I have made a blank version with just the borders. And then this was here the whole time, just in case something gets messed up. I've got some lore for some of the main ones. I was doing this earlier, so I was bored. So this is called Imperium Meridional, and they claim everything up to the centre of the continent, which I guess I'll be in the future. They have an emperor, and the populace are very loyal to him. And then they follow the religion of the yellow up here. Then you've got Königreich der Ebenen, which might be wrong because I've forgot. My German's not the best either. They claim this. Northeast, never eat. And they claim this. Well, all of this. And they're a kingdom, and there's multiple, like, there's a split in the country, where these follow the folk religions up here, and these follow the official religion there. Well, the official religion, this is more constructed of actual, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, this is just made up stories, and this is like, there's an actual devoted, like, oh, what's the word? Like, it's an actual religion. They set up buildings and priests and stuff. I forgot the word. Then this guy is called Turv Ordons. I'm not very Mongolian, but that's what it is. Where are they? They just want to conquer everything, and they use cavalry. No centralized government. Which is these? These fellas are called Nordlige Rom, and they claim. They claim just the rest of these guys here, as well as this, I suppose. And they're a kingdom, and then basically, kind of like Skyrim. There's like there's 9 in Skyrim. There's like 4 like kings, and then I think sure it's 9 in Skyrim. Anyways, and then they all recognize this as one place, but no one wants to get everything up. So then there's like a Ulfric Stormcloak guy here, and he believes he's the true one. He wants to take over the rest of these. Then this is the head of what's called Reino Elegido, and they're the main religion of this state, half of that, and then half of that, and then these guys start following because these guys are, but these guys are lesser so. So it's the main religion of that, and I simply called it Reino because I couldn't think of anything else. I just took half of the first thing. I think that just means like king or something. Oh well. And this is governed by a council of priests. I wrote down, so you can do it that we will. This guy up here, I think you should call them Polynesia because I couldn't think of an original name. And they claim, yeah, they just claim that, and then they got a folk religion, and then they just got like a chief. They're like a tribe pretty much. But I just wanted to do something up here. And the final one I did law for is this green one called Councelo Unido, which is just a chieftain, and then they claim all of this. So yeah, and I'm going to refer to them by colours until I get more used to it. But there you go, there's your official law for you. Alright, I had a plan. Oh yes, so these fellas here, the red guys, the main guys, they've been realising, hey, I'm kind of stuck here because these guys follow my religion, so I can't justify anything with them. Well, I could, but it'd be pointless, because these guys also want to kill me. So there's no point getting in war with someone who could be our ally. Right? Oh no, they're allies anyways. My bad, I'm thinking wrong thing. But yeah, big bad problem there. And they could go here, but they're like, yeah, we really kind of screwed these guys over enough here, so we're not going to do that. And also, we want them to be our friends still, and we can't govern all this by ourselves. And and then they look up here. These guys are all kind of like the same horde status. So the only way to expand is to find more islands. So that's what they do. They set sail, and there's like all their little boats, and then they don't find anything. So they leave it to this guy, say, hey, since you're our allies, it'll be fine if you find something so we can share the profits. So they go out, and then that's unsuccessful, and then that's unsuccessful, and that's unsuccessful. But when they breeze past, a storm blew them into here, and they discover this island. Now that's pretty cool. So they realise there's islands out here. So they keep looking about, and they find a couple tiny little islands of like a square kilometre or something. And then they start finding more of them and more of them when they get to the coast, and they see this absolute monstrosity. And now, since half the people on the expedition are of the red country, nationality if you will, they're like, hey, since we found most of this, can we split it in half? And these guys say, yeah, whatever, if he was invaders. So they say, yeah, this looks fair. This looks fair, we'll split it diagonally across. And then these guys don't care, so they just want port access over here. And then without letting them know, without letting the grey guys know, the reds start doing another expedition, end up here, then these guys get confused and they try to run away, and then they end up here, and they keep resupplying until one storm blows them over here. And then they found another island. Base colonization. So they're all spreading out. Yeah, these guys just copied the boat design. They paid for licenses, let's say, off the reds. And they were all swimming around. Someone gave them a tip that there's epic islands there. And these guys are like, well, we're not about to let this slide. So they set off their boats and they set sail. And then they get in a storm, and then bang, they get lucky. Wait, did I do the wrong thing? No. But what was this? They found the same island and at the same time, and they're gonna meet in the middle. And then they met in the middle, and then this is very bad news because they both want this island, you see. And then in the crossfire, these guys are like, well, I want a boat, and Rome's our friends, they're our religion. I call them Rome back since they're red, my bad. And they swim over here. Bang, they take it all for themselves, and they get this little fella because these guys already discovered this and have the people to colonize it. So now these guys start colonizing as well. They're religion guys. I can't bother to edit this, so I'm going to try not mess up. Alright, so now these guys, alright, what was I doing? Oh yes, these guys are not happy with them being the island, so they start doing some atrocities and they start like burning all their camps and killing them until there's one little holdout left, and the emperor down here is not about to stand for this. So he says, this whole island is ours, you need to get off it. And then they say no, and then they kill him before the emperor can send any men up. So now the emperor moves his capital from over here to a more strategic position by the heartland of the pink guys over here. No, that's good. Yeah, he moves the capital over there so he can be closer to his enemy and get a closer base of operations. And then he starts the full offensive of like a few thousand red guys, soldiers, just walking through empty countryside because transmissions weren't fast back then. So like, and this is like a tenth the size of Earth. Remember that big law. So they can just kind of do this until they start reaching cities here. Then I'll be stealthy and stop. But a scout from the big city saw this. He's like, hey, this is bad news. These guys crossed into our territory. So now we got to fight back. And they do. And then like the city guard of like 100 men come down here, and they meet at this little let's call this hold on, I think I doxed myself. Hopefully not. Great, I'm going to edit now. Alright, anyways, epic forest battle. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch, tiger bites toe. If it squeals, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And the pink guys win. Alright, and then this gives them a foothold. So now there's a river line here, or here, and they've pushed across it. And now these guys are doing more of a strategic retreat. Else it'll just be a massacre, you know. So right now they've still got good holdings. But in the south, a small group of men just set off in all the chaos and start claiming some cities here, like lesser cities. Now the blue fellas over here are seeing all this happen, and they're like, how did it happen over an island? We don't want to go to war with these, because that's a big risk, because these will get involved, and then they can probably vote with these two, because of their religion. And these guys won't get involved, so they don't care. Alright, so these guys stay out of it, which makes these guys very sad, and they take it very personally, and they leave their little buddy group alliance. Now, since this happened, there is a lot of religion, I can't remember what I call it, Reino or something. They're all up here. I'll do some different colour to demonstrate. Like green. Yeah, we'll do that. Now let's do Yoda green. Well, I think we delete that colour. And they're all up here, and they're not happy that they're infighting. All their men are being sent off to kill other men in their religion. So this is where it's popular. This is a major city, that's why it's not religious, of this religion anyways. They follow the folk religion to the rest of the central ones in the pink. So they all rise up and rebel. And then it's a big distraction, and the red guys, they want some bang for their buck, if you will. So they just start sending civilians over to try, well, not civilian, that's civilian militias. They just start like recruiting men and giving them like half a sword and send them to go in. And then they do pretty well until they reach the cities. They make significant gains here, and then these guys don't really have much credibility, and nor do they have a very veteran-seen their army, so they start getting beaten back. And they reclaim half the city. There's a bit of a siege going on over here. Well, not siege warfare, yeah, there's just a battle in the city, because it's hard to fight in the city, because they've got like guerrilla fighters in there, until they lose, because they can reconnect, and it's very good. But in the end, the red fellas eventually get the upper hand at battle here and push them back into the city, and then just force their way through the countryside and unite with the green guys. In the end, officials down here, they don't want any part of this lost war, so they all flee over here, and the red guys finish all this off, and then the pink settle for hey, if you give us some stuff back, we'll give you this island. And the red guys accept. They take the island they kindly wanted, and they're very honourable. So they start pulling out the territory. They give back some of their very culturally important cities. Let's try to get it perfect there. Alright. But they don't give everything back, because this war was their fault over nothing. Because they committed atrocities in the first place, man. So these guys are righteous. Well, they probably commit some atrocities too, but these guys started it, so it's fine. So they hand this back over kindly, and let's say they give a bit of land over here they have no use for, because it's just useless central plains. It's just harsh and unarable, if that's a word. You can't farm on it, is what I'm trying to say. And then they hand this back over here as well, just as a token of their grace. Let's say they give it back up to here. You see how, look how honourable these guys are. Gotta be really careful now. Don't want to mess this up. Alright. But they do start a brief occupation over here. They don't have enough claim to it to really annex it. There's only farmers living here, but that's a lot of stuff to do, so they set up a little vassal state of sorts. And how I'm going to do vassal states, I'm going to do a normal country in the same colour. I'll show you, you probably understand what I mean, like that. In my lighting it looks really brown, I don't know if it does in video. Anyway, so they set this up, and they get the island occupation they wanted, and infighting still happening over here. Alright. In the meanwhile, this is all going on, a new kingdom spawned in up here, who joins these in basically fighting. All these islands join together, because there's people living who knew about each other, I should say that back. So now all these islands are together as one little group. And now they are claimant to the 5 guys here. And based epic colonization happened because these guys copied the designs of the blue guys underneath them. Because let's say someone's shipwrecked here when they're bouncing around. See, this is making sense. And they just island hop through here because they only make it up to here because these guys are crafty little fellas, and they managed to make their way here as well. So now it's a bit of war there maybe, and then I'm gonna leave that for now, so I don't want to deal with that. And then one more thing happens around the same time as this. Religious groups over here got some ideas from these, and they're like, we don't want to have these folk religions anymore, we want out of here. And then they rebel against their German speaking overlords, and they're funded by the red guys in the south. So there's a pretty big rebellion up here. How successful is it though? Well, it's about to be a lot more successful because these guys claim the Mongolian kind of speaking areas, and they start rushing in, taking advantage of this. Yeah, they take a big advantage of this, and they push all the way up to here and then force them into a peace because they had no other option. And unlike the red guys, they can just straight up take this because, well, I mean, they're just like a, how do you say, like a one-time thing, and then if they die, they die. Like, they're not going to last long anyways, because they have no stability. So it's like, may as well just take it, and then they do. So that's not very good if you're one of these guys who doesn't want to live here. So they get a lot of land out of this. And then these guys, they don't even care anymore, they've lost so much. They're like, yeah, whatever, you can have your independence, this is relatively useless land, we'll take it back another time. They're the bigger man and they stand down. And now these greys are leaning more towards here in claiming the throne. These guys joining the battle for the throne, so now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 claimants. And these guys obviously look the most powerful out of all of them. And now these, because they got backstabbed by them, essentially, they may or may not fund it, who knows. That's for you to decide. Alright, they just leave that, and then they're like, we may as well peace with you, to show we're not trying to backstab you or nothing either. And we join in your little gang. And these guys join in their little religious gang, and they join in their little religious gang. So that's pretty epic. That's probably enough for now.